Hello and welcome back to another live edition of Maddie's Rap. To those of you that are watching this on demand, welcome. To those of you who are my returning subscribers, welcome back. And to those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. And thank you for clicking on this thumbnail if you're watching this on demand. I've got about 40 seconds and then I'm going to go ahead and get started. So we're counting down to the 1 minute mark. And I'm just going to jump right in because I do not want this to be a long video. And I'm tempted to get started right now, but I'll wait. So hopefully you guys are doing well out there. Today's date is Tuesday, October 31st, 2023, the last day of October. We are in Scorpio season, and already there's some interesting things happening with this Scorpio season. Now, I'm coming up on the 1 minute mark, and I haven't stopped talking, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started because, again, I do not want this to be a long video. To those of you who are watching live, welcome. To those of you who are watching this on demand, welcome back. Now, before I get into tonight's video, which is, again, I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. Depending on who joins in and how many questions I get at the end, it may run a little bit longer. But now, the title of tonight's video is Astrological Timelines of Major Events in the History of the Land of Israel, okay? We want to focus on that land because that land has had a number of different occupants over the last 2,000 years, okay? A number of different groups that have claimed ownership of it. And it has just changed ownership. There has not really been any peace in that land since the Greek wars of around, I want to say 300 something BCE. So it's that land has really not been at rest for a long time, but it has definitely not been at rest since the Roman wars that began in 66 AD. So but now, before I get into that, again, today's date is Tuesday, October 31st. We're in Scorpio season. And for those of you who are subscribed to my channel and watch all of my videos, you know that prior or leading into Libra season, I mentioned that there were going to be some things that were brought back into balance in the world. There was going to be some upheaval. There was going to be some revelation of truth. All the things that are Libra, all the things that have to do with the 7 principles of Ma'at, all of those are Libra energies: fairness, truth, honesty, balance, harmony, righteousness, peace, all that good stuff. Some things were going to be happening to sort of set the stage for that. And we saw a lot of revelations. We saw a lot of things exposed, a lot of things brought to the light during Libra season. Now, Libra energy is all about truth. So we saw a lot of truths emerge during Libra season. Now that we're in Scorpio season, we know that Scorpio brings with it the energy of death, destruction, and arise from the ashes. Death, destruction, and rebirth. And certainly here on Tuesday, October 31st, we're seeing a lot of that happening in the world, sadly. This is not news. I don't want this to be a news channel. I want this to sound like a news channel. So I'm not going to deal with some of the things that are happening with regards to numbers, okay, body counts and that sort of thing of what's happening in the land of Israel right now. All you got to do is turn on your news, which I don't recommend. But right now, the way things are going in the world, it seems to be more and more difficult to avoid news of what's happening. I'm an avid YouTuber. When I'm not recording a YouTube video or not going live on YouTube, I like to watch other YouTubers. And when I turn on my Apple TV or my Fire Stick or whatever, or my laptop and go to YouTube, you cannot avoid recommended videos that tell you what's happening. So it is challenging to avoid them. What I would encourage each and every one of you to do is to stay balanced. This is Scorpio season, and that scorpionic energy is going to be more potent this year because this is a 7-year. 2023 is a very spiritual year. The numerology of it is 7. 2 + 2 + 3 is 7. So we know that 7 is a highly spiritual number. So we're seeing a lot of amplification of things that are spiritual, things that are astrological. We're seeing that stuff magnified this year. So I predicted this. I didn't do it on my channel, but I predicted that there was going to be a lot of people leaving the planet this Scorpio season, and it's starting to happen. But anyway, let's get on into tonight's subject matter because, again, I don't want this to be a super long video. And if you guys have questions, by all means, drop them in the comment box. Okay. Now, let's talk about this. The North Node, the node of destiny. You guys probably can see that in the description box as I've pasted it in there before I got started with this video. The North Node or the lunar nodes are known as the nodes of destiny. The North Node is the direction we're headed in. The South Node is where we're leaving away from. If you guys saw in my earlier videos, I talked about while we have 12 astrological signs, they're situated on 6 axes. And those individual axes carry similar energy. It's just that they're polar opposites, but they carry the same energy. For example, the North Node is currently in, trying to a brain fart. It is currently in Aries, okay? Aries shares an axis with Libra. On one side is Aries, which is about war. On the other side is Libra, which is about peace. So, why is that important? Well, because it's almost like when you're talking about the nodes of destiny. Now, let me talk about Aries energy for just a moment. Aries doesn't make war just to make war. Aries makes war because there is something that could not be resolved peacefully. That's how that energy works. Hey, hot shot, glad you're here. So glad you're here. Um, so Aries makes war because there was something that could not be resolved peacefully. Libra wants to do it peacefully. When it cannot be done peacefully, Aries says, all right, we tried your way, Libra. Now we're going to do it my way. Aries is masculine energy. Libra is feminine energy. Aries, Mars, Libra, Venus. Libra is in the south node, so that's behind us. We are now in Aries season. So with Aries comes war. Now, let's talk about it. With the node being in Aries, we see what is happening right now and what happened back during Libra season on October the 7th. We had the attack that started this whole unrest, and that didn't start the unrest. Okay, and you're going to see that when I bring up these timelines here shortly. That attack itself didn't start the unrest. The unrest started a long time ago. Now, pardon me. Hopefully, you guys didn't hear that. People want to talk about World War III. I'm hearing that a lot now, and a lot of you guys watching this video are probably hearing that too. Oh, we're on the verge of World War III. World War III could be happening. I've been saying for the longest, World War III. It's not like it's World War III. It's just chapter 3 of an unending war. It's not like World War I started and then it shut off and then okay, boom, wipe the slate clean. Oh, here's this new little unrest. Here's World War II, something completely different. No, they're all connected, but they continue backwards if you understand the timeline. You guys, those of you that have been watching me for a while, you know that I mentioned that all of my videos are connected and somehow it just works out that way. All right. Now, I know that there's no such thing as coincidences, but somehow it works out that whatever I produce and publish to this channel, to this platform, there's a video. You can go back and watch a video 1 or 2 before that builds on that, or that video built on something that I said previously. So, with that being said, I talked a lot about how the current unrest is not new, and that World War III is there's no such thing as a World War III. Everything goes backwards. So let's do that. Let's note that the node is currently in Aries. Now, what happened the last time the North Node was in Aries? Let's take a look. I'm going to bring that up on the screen here. And again, this is specific to, sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. This is specific to, let me go ahead and bring it up. Specific to the land of Israel. Now, when I talked about a previous video, I got away from my thought there. In previous videos I did maybe 1 or 2 live streams ago, I talked about Middle Earth. And I talked about how J.R.R. Tolkien, the writer of the Lord of the Rings book trilogy, was somehow prophetic. It's almost like he saw the future and connected the dots with the past. If you understand the Lord of the Rings movies, I talked about how Middle Earth is situated in the area of the Mediterranean. I talked about the term Mediterranean literally meaning Middle Earth. Meaty, middle. Terra is Earth. So when you're talking about the Mediterranean Sea, you're talking about Middle Earth. Now, I used to be someone who used to say, well, where does this term the Middle East come from? It's not historical. We didn't see it in any history books or anything like that. And yet, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up while I'm talking, family. And yet, okay, good. You guys can see that. And yet that term persists. So I said to myself, why is it that people say Middle East? Well, now I know why they say, well, there's no Middle West, there's no Middle North, there's no Middle South. Well, actually there is, because Middle Earth is the area or the region of the earth around the Mediterranean, okay? These names aren't made up. Nobody pulls these names out of their fourth point of contact. These names have meaning, okay? It's just that they become so commonplace that nobody thinks about what those names actually mean. But Mediterranean means Middle Earth. So if you saw those videos, you saw that the whole story of the Lord of the Rings was a battle that took place in the setting of Middle Earth, and it was all about these rings of power. Okay, where I gotta grab these rings of power. He who holds the ring of power controls the earth. Okay, I believe that ring of power is perhaps an energetic grid, if you will, or an energetic triangle or something situated in that area of Middle Earth, aka the Middle East. Okay. What is the Middle East? It is the eastern side of the Mediterranean Sea. There you go. So now we're going to talk about this. As you can see on the screen here, a timeline of Israel and Palestine's complicated history. And I've also got something here called I've got this timeline in Wikipedia that dates back to 1882, and then I've got here what is this is very important. We're going to be looking at this North Node calendar. Okay, right now we're in the North Node, as you can see right here. I'll highlight it. The nodes switched from Taurus to Aries back on July the 18th, and let me tell you, the energy in the air has been heavy. Yo, shout out to you if you are a water sign. Hey Allie, how you doing tonight? Shout out to you if you're a water sign. Why do I say that? If you've got major water placements, and that is Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces in your sun, moon, your rising, or your Mars, you are probably feeling some of this heavy energy out here right now. So, look, my heart goes out to you. My prayers are that you can keep your vibrations high. I have to tell you, it has been challenging for me. Okay, I've been somebody who's been empathetic my whole life. I didn't quite understand my own gifts, because it is a gift. It is a gift to be able to feel. Some people call it a curse, but it's actually a gift. My gift saved my life back when I was 12 years old. I'm not going to tell that story on here, but it saved it time and time again beyond that. But the first time that it was distinct for me was an event that happened when I was 12 years old, and thank God that that ability to feel what others feel was there at that time. So shout out again to you if you're somebody that's connected to the energy of Mother Earth, because you can feel the heaviness in it, and you are probably having a tough time right now. My again, my heart goes out to you. My prayers go out to you. My advice to you, which I'm going to take myself, is to stay hydrated. Okay, drink plenty of clean water, spring water if you can, but if not, make sure it's really filtered really well. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Try to get you some rest as much as you can. If you're sleeping at night, if you can get 8 hours, great. If you can't get 8 hours, get you a power nap during the day, especially if you work from home. I talked about that. And you get that hour for lunch, maybe take a 30-minute power nap or something like that if you're working from home. It's important to rest right now. It's important to stay hydrated. It's important to eat as clean as possible, because that's going to keep your temple, keep everything flowing. It's going to keep that water inside of you flowing. If you are a water sign, it is highly important and highly critical that you keep the waters inside of your body clean and flowing. You do that, you accomplish that by eating clean and staying hydrated. So shout out to you. Keep those vibrations high. It's been a challenge. Today is heavy for some reason. I should probably look at what sign the moon is in, but we're also just coming out of a lunar eclipse. But let me get on to this. So Aries, we know that this whole current conflict between Gaza and Hamas and Palestine and Israel began during this current Aries season. Let's go back and look at the last time that I say Aries season. I meant to say the lunar node or the North Node, the node of destiny, being in Aries. Let's go back and look at what happened the last time the node was in Aries. The North Node was in Aries. Keep this in mind, guys. The North Node changes signs, or the North Node cycles. The North Node changes signs every 18 months, and it cycles every 18 years. Okay. So we are currently in 2023. The last time the North Node was in Aries was between December 2004 and June of 2026. So you want to think 2005. All right. Now let's go and look at this timeline. Let's go and see what happened in 2005. Some of you are pretty sharp. You can already go there. Israel temporarily. Let's see, 2003, the second Intifada from 2003 to 2000 2003. Let's look at this one. All right, where are we? 2000. I'm saying 2005. I said that wrong, family. 18 years, 15. No, let me look at this. Hang on a second. I'm not confusing myself. I am not. Y'all bear with me. It has been a long day. Okay. Last time the node was in Aries. All right. Okay, between December 2004 and June 22nd, 2006. Okay. Now, pay attention to where the node was before that because here, Israel temporarily withdraws from Gaza. Sharon becomes prime minister in 2001. In 2005, the government announced an Israeli disengagement plan for Gaza. Let's go here. 2005, 2006, Hezbollah cross-border raid. 2006, the Lebanon war, Israeli forces. That was July 12th. Where was the node? Okay, the node had moved. It had moved to Pisces by then, but look at the setup before that. Where is my timeline? I had a better one here earlier. Okay, Second Intifada, 2000 to 2003. When did that end? This is not the one I want, family. Hang on a second. Let me find it. I got it up over here somewhere. All right. Where is my timeline? Give me 1 second here, family. This is the one I was looking for. Okay. Let me pop that over here. All right. Okay, 2005, timeline of Israeli-Palestinian conflict in 2005. And as you can see the dates here from January, there was a bunch of unrest. Now the node is still in, that node was in Aries from December 27th, 2004 to June 22nd, 2006. So 2005 would have been the middle of that. All right, look at January. Soldier wounded. January 6th, one Hamas activist shot dead. It happened January 7th, January 8th, January 11th, January 12th. There was something going on every single day. Okay. February, you still had incidents going on. March, April, May. You can just look through here and see everything that was going on in 2005, the last time the node was in Aries. Okay. Now, I want to jump ahead because again, I said I didn't want this to be a long video. Let me just let me bring this down for just a moment. And what I want to say to you guys is when I went to bed the other night, I asked myself, I said, you know what? Is there a way for me to find out? Because the biggest event that happened on that land, we're talking about astrological timelines of major events in the history of the land of Israel. The biggest event to happen on that land in the last 2,000 years was the destruction of Jerusalem by the Romans. That happened in 70 AD. That siege started around April. It ended, was finally like the final crushing blow was delivered in Libra season. You know, at the end of September to October was the cleanup, the mop up. The Romans had busted through all of the walls. They had destroyed the temple, burned it down, and they just went through basically slaughtering any citizens that they could find. Anybody that they didn't care if they were a civilian or they didn't know at this point, are we fighting against a fighter or are we fighting against? Because at that time, remember, the men of Judah did not have a standing army. They did not have a standing army, so they were just citizens of Judah that decided that they wanted to rise up and fight against the Romans. Sounds very similar to something that's happening today. But I make no insinuations. So making no insinuations regarding identity. I just want you to pay attention to what's happening. So I thought to myself, gosh, that is the worst thing, historically speaking, that has ever happened in the land of Israel. I wonder what the North Node was in. I'm going to show you. This blew my mind. I asked myself, could that North Node have been in Aries? Now, I wasn't about to do that math and count backwards some 1,950 some odd years. So I said, what if there is a program out there that will allow me? Because most of them have these drop down lists that only go back to 19 something. So I said, let me find one that'll allow me to type that date in and see if the computer will do the back end calculations and tell me what was going on. Watch this. If you look at this photo or the screenshot that I took, where is my photos? No, that's not it. Where is, hang on a second, family. I've got it up here somewhere. All right, let me open it up. It's under preview. There it is. Okay. All right. If you look on your screen here, what you're looking at is an image. As you can see, take a look. Hopefully, you guys can see this little cursor here. All right. 25 May 19 or 70. So it's 0070. I put May in there. That siege actually started in April, but I wanted to throw May in there just to give it a month. Okay. Um, I put the location as Jerusalem, country Israel. So it gave me the latitude and longitude, May 25th of 70 AD. And look at what I have highlighted here for the node. I got it circled in red and highlighted. The north node was in Aries. It was in Aries. The north node was in Aries. If you look over here at this chart, some people don't know how to read these charts, but this thing that looks like, I don't know, looks like a 70s hairdo or whatever. You got this little loop thing here with the balls on both sides. That is the north node. And as you can see, it is in the sign of Aries. So I thought that that was fascinating that when the worst atrocity to ever happen in the land of Israel happened, the north node was in Aries. So now you could look at some other particular nodes and talk about the significance with the land of Israel. Let's look at this. I'm going to bring this one down. And I'm going to bring up the north node, south node calculator. Not calculator, calendar. Let's go back here. Appreciate you guys' patience. And I thank you guys for hanging out with me on a Tuesday evening, like when you could be doing a number of other things. But let's bring this up. For those of you who are nerds, history nerds like I am, I thought you'd find this fascinating. Let's go to the Declaration of the State of Israel. That happened in 1948. Okay. Now, as you can see here, the North Node was in Taurus with the South Node in Scorpio. Okay. That Taurus Scorpio axis. Scorpio is Mars energy, just like Aries is. So, with that being behind Taurus, now this is interesting because the energy of Taurus rules over the second house, and the energy of Taurus is collect, give me mine. I want materials. I want material wealth. I want possessions. Taurus is all about grabbing and holding on to possessions. So if you look at what happened in 1948, we know right here, May 14th, on the last day of the British Mandate, David Ben-Gurion, executive head of the World Zionist Organization and the chairman of the Jewish Agency for Israel, issued the Israeli Declaration of Independence, which declared the establishment of a Jewish state on mandatory Palestine in the land of Israel to be known as the State of Israel. That was under the North Node of Taurus, which we know is about grabbing and holding. Give me, this is mine. This is mine. Second house energy. These are my possessions. That happened when the North Node or the Node of Destiny was in Taurus. So it's interesting to look at these things that happen. And then, of course, one day later, the Arab-Israeli war started. Okay. And that was because now the South Node, again, on that same axis with Taurus, is Scorpio. So Scorpio energy, again, is about death, destruction, and rebirth. That was in the South Node, but that energy is still in that same axis. Remember what I said in that video about how a heads and a tails of a penny is still a penny. It's just that whatever side is up is the side you're looking at, but there's another side to it. When you're dealing with Taurus energy, every Taurus has a little bit of Scorpio in them. Every Scorpio has a little bit of Taurus in them. I talked about that. Okay. So let's go to the 6-Day War. 6-Day War, June the 5th. All right. The 6-Day War, the Israeli Air Force destroyed the Egyptian Air Force on the ground over a period of 3 hours. Okay. And then 6 days later, of course, they signed a ceasefire. Let's look at what node was in effect there during the 6 Day War. That's June 5th, 1967. There's that Taurus Scorpio energy again. There's that Taurus Scorpio energy again. We know that 6 Day War. What happened at the end of that 6 Day War? Israel acquired more land. So we're still talking about the energy of possessions, materials, material gain, material wealth. This stuff, you guys, you cannot deny the impact of the cosmic energy and the cosmic forces on the earth. They can't be denied. They cannot be denied. So I thought that that was very interesting too, because again, with that 6 Day War, you had that. So this is some pretty interesting stuff, y'all. Let me see, 82. Let's look at that first level. Well, let me go back a little bit further. That was 67. Okay, this is the Vox timeline. Let me go to this Wikipedia timeline. Yom Kippur War in October 6th of 1973. October 6th. Did I say that right? October 6th, okay, of 1973. And it lasted about almost 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks. It ended on the 25th. So that would have been under the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is all about governments, structure, that sort of thing. Okay. Somebody tried it, they failed. It happened during the cusp almost of that Sagittarius North Node. We know that Sagittarius is the energy of what? Expansion. It is the energy of expansion. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It's the planet of abundance, that sort of thing. So these things, it's amazing when you look at them. You can go back even a little bit further. Let's look at when the let's see, the Balfour. Let's look at the Balfour Declaration, because that was the British mandate was established then. All right. Okay, Balfour Declaration was November the 2nd, 1917. Again, Capricorn, all about government, structure, that sort of thing. Okay. And then the British mandate came out 3 years later in April 25th of 1920. There's that Scorpio. There's that Scorpio Taurus axis again. Only Taurus is on the back end. Scorpio, the stinger, that British mandate, that stung. Okay. Scorpio wants to destroy and rebuild. What happened with the British mandate? Hey, you know what? We're apportioning a part of this land of Palestine and mandating that part of this is going to be for the Jewish people, the Zionists, whatever. So that happened under the axis of Scorpio Taurus. When that axis of Scorpio Taurus hit again, so it's almost like these things stack on each other. You had the British mandate when the North Node was in Scorpio. When the North Node returned to Scorpio, what did you have? The start of World War I. I'm sorry, World War II. World War II started in 1939. So there, again, you're back in that Scorpio, that Mars energy. Hey, you know what? I want to destroy and rebuild. That Scorpio North Node, the war starting in 1939, that set the stage for what came when that node flipped. So it went from Scorpio. You had Scorpio North Node when the British mandate happened, Scorpio North Node at the start of World War II, and then when it flips to Taurus, it's on the opposite side now. I use the war, I use the stinger, the energy of destruction and rebuilding to flip it and gain material. What was the material? Land. That happened in 1948 with the Declaration of the State on the opposite side of the Taurus Scorpio axis. So that is interesting, y'all. It is very interesting when you look at this stuff. I think I'm going to stop sharing here and get ready. I want to open this up if you guys have any questions. I told you I didn't want this to be a super long video. I just think that is interesting when you look at the effect of the nodes on the nodes of destiny. They're called the lunar nodes. They're called the nodes of destiny. They're called the North Node and the South Node. These things always carry destined events, and a lot of events. I mean, some of these world leaders plan things around the energy of these lunar nodes because these lunar nodes power these energies. I'm here to tell you, look, if you for those of you that have any type of relationships, be it family members or significant other relationships with people that have Aries energy, brace yourself right now because that energy is going to be magnified by the North Node. I know I won't name that person, but I got a person in my family who has an Aries moon. Because I know enough about astrology, I know now that when we hit these rough areas, I gotta know where to play this dance, and I gotta know where to. Okay, I cannot allow this thing to trigger me because this person is going to be more in an aggressive type of emotional state when it comes to things that aren't going the way that they think they should go. Okay, and this is a masculine energy in my family that has an Aries North Node. Okay, I'm sorry, he's got an Aries moon. Aries, the moon, we know the moon rules the emotions. So I'm like, all right, I'm the wise one here. I got to be the person that balances things out. Balance comes easy for me because I'm a Libra rising. Okay, so that comes easy for me. I understand the energy of balance, but I'm like, I'm also a Capricorn. All right, so I don't, Capricorns is like, all right, we got a little bit of a threshold, but then we get some things that we're not gonna tolerate, and we like, all right, what's good? Um, but I'm like, okay, I cannot allow this person's energy to trigger me because this person's emotional state is now heightened by the fact that their moon sign is in the same sign as the North Node. And with it being in Aries, and I'm here to tell y'all, listen, I cannot make this up. Me and this person's interaction was a lot easier until July. And July is when the node flipped from Taurus to Aries. And that's when things started getting a little bit tense. And I'm like, man, what is going on with this person? And I thought about it. I'm like, oh, snap, they're in Aries moon. All right. I can expect another year and some change of this type of energy between me and this person. But you know what I can do? I can make the adjustment. I can make the adjustment and I can keep things cool. I know that this person's emotional state, Aries, any of y'all that know Aries, Aries is great energy, but when they don't get things done the way they think it need to be done, you got to deal with that fire. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I got to limit my interactions with this person to a degree, but at the same time, I got to know how to move with this. So anyway, that's on the personal side. But I'm getting ready to wrap this up on the global side, if you will. I said this in another video. I'm saying it again. This this unrest in the world, it is not going to get any easier anytime soon. Okay. There is some there's some prophecy regarding that land over there and this time that we're in. And I'm not going to deal with that in this particular video. That's the one I was mentioning in my community post when I said I'm going in. I'm saving that one, y'all. I'm saving that one. That's probably going to be about an hour, maybe an hour and some change. I don't want to go in on that one right now. That one you're not going to want to miss. The plan is to do that one on tomorrow night, on Wednesday. Okay. So I want to take my time with it. I've done all my notes. I'm ready to go. I just didn't want to do it tonight. I wanted to kind of give you guys a precursor, if you will, a setup, letting you know that what is happening over there is not any different than what has always happened during certain um, nodes of destiny. Okay. So everything that is happening over there right now, sometimes we think, oh well, this person is being aggressive toward. It's time for this to happen. Why? Because and there's a passage of scripture, y'all. I'm gonna pull this up on the screen before I get off of here because this is actually what's gonna set you up for my next live stream. There's a passage of scripture that pretty much said that the land was not going to allow any rest in it, any peace in it, until her children were returned. Now, this may rub some people the wrong way, but has there been any rest in that land since 70 AD? I can take you back. Let me take you back a little bit here real quick. Y'all know how I get. I'll be ready to get off this thing and then I'm like, y'all, here you go. Here you go. I promise y'all I'm not going in. I'm not going in, all right? I promise y'all I'm not going to go in on this, all right? Let me bring up this timeline cuz I'm going to show I think I showed y'all this earlier in the beginning. But I'm going to take you back to 70 AD on this particular screen and then I'm going to show you that let's do this. Boom. Let's come here and let's go here. And let's pop this in here. Enter. And I'm going to share the screen now. Thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate you guys. Present, share screen. I'm surprised I ain't got no questions, y'all. No questions, no comments. Y'all drop them in the box if you got any. All right. Timeline of Jerusalem. This is the area that we're dealing with. Okay. So let's go here. Let's start here in the middle of the screen. 64 to 68 CE. Nero persecutes Jews and Christians throughout the Roman Empire. Okay. 66 AD. James the Just, the brother of Jesus and first bishop of Jerusalem, is killed in Jerusalem at the instigation of the high priest Ananus ben Ananus, according to Eusebius of Caesarea. 66 to 73. The first Jewish-Roman war. I don't like that term because that term is not it's not historically accurate, but it is what it is. It's the modern term everybody goes by, and I'm going to be dealing with some of that in the video tomorrow. But anyway, with the Judean rebellion led by Simon Bar Giora, that was from 66 to 73 AD. We know Jerusalem was destroyed in 70 AD. We know that the North Node was in Aries at the time. Aries is the energy of war. Whenever the North Node is in Aries, somebody going to be fighting somewhere in the world. Some people won't be dying. Okay. Similar energy happens with Taurus, with that Taurus Scorpio axis. Okay. 70 AD, the siege of Jerusalem. That was pretty much the end of the children of Judah being on that land. Okay. Now, let's go on down. We won't talk about the persecution. We know about that. 115 to 117. Okay. Jews revolt against the Romans throughout the empire, including Jerusalem in the Kitos War. Okay. Let's see. 130, you had another, where is it? 132 to 135, the Bar Kokhba revolt. Okay. So it's like you cannot pick out a what? Let me see. That was 135 to let's see, 132 to 135. What happened after that? 136 to 140, a temple to Jupiter is built on the Temple Mount that the Romans, when the Romans destroyed the city, they cleared the rubble and they built a temple to Jupiter on land that the Most High had apportioned for the children of Israel. So how can that land rest when there's some stuff going on it that was not intended to be going on it? All right. Let's see, 136. Let's see. Here we go. 272. We got where is it? 259. Jerusalem falls under the rule of Odenathus, king of the Palmyrene Empire after the capture of Emperor Valerian. So, Battle of Edessa causes the Roman Empire to splinter. Battle. Jerusalem becomes part of the Roman Empire again after Aurelian defeats. That's 272. Okay. What's next? 313, the Brotherhood of the Holy Sepulchre, founded in Jerusalem after Constantine issued the Edict of Milan, legalizing Christianity throughout the Roman Empire. We know about that, okay? The same people who allegedly killed the Messiah brought Christianity to the world under a different brand, right? Story for another day. All right, 324, 325. Emperor Constantine wins the civil wars of the Tetrarchy, okay? 325, a ban on Jews entering the city remains. Look, you can go through here and see what's happening. There's always a fight going on here. Every century, there was some sort of fight, okay? Galilee earthquake of 363, together with the reestablishment of Christianity's dominance following the death of Julian the Apostate at the Battle of Samara, ends an attempt to build a third temple in Jerusalem. They tried it there, okay? An earthquake happened when the last time they tried to build a third temple. Y'all got to understand that land said she is not going to rest. Let me show you where the land said that. I brought this up in another video. I'm going to show you this again. This can be found in Baruch chapter 4. That is in one of the books that the powers that were of the church said, this book doesn't belong in the 66. We're not going to give them that. This doesn't go in there. We can't prove the authenticity of it. Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you the authenticity of it is proven by itself. Let's bring this up. All right. KJBA. All right. Let's go. Verse, okay, so Baruch chapter 4, I read this in another video, guys. This is the land weeping for the loss of her children, okay? Verse 10. Now remember, the land is the feminine energy. Land and water are feminine energies. Air and fire are masculine energies. What is the fire in the air? It is the sun. Okay. And then the air is the atmosphere. Those are the masculine energies. Okay. Now, verse 10, for I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them. With joy did I nourish them, the land, but sent them away with weeping and mourning. Let no man rejoice over me, a widow and forsaken of many, for who for the sons of my children am left desolate, because they departed from the law of God. Now, was the land desolate? It's never been desolate of people, but the land here is saying it is desolate because it doesn't have its children. Okay? The originals. Verse 13, they knew not his statutes, nor walked in the ways of his commandments, nor trod in the paths of discipline in his righteousness. 14, let them that dwell about Zion come and remember the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting hath brought upon them. Okay, this is the Most High doing it. There's a reason why he did it. I can talk about that in another video. That would make this longer than I wanted to be. Verse 15, for he hath brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation. The Romans were shameless. The Greeks were shameless, but the Romans were the ones that dealt the finishing blow. For he hath brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation, and of a strange language. These folks were speaking Hebrew and Aramaic. Here come these folks speaking Latin. They're like, what is this? We don't understand this language. Who neither reverenced old man nor pity child. When they went through Jerusalem killing, they slaughtered young and old, male and female. They didn't care. Verse 16. These have carried away the dear beloved children of the widow, the land, and left her that was alone, desolate, without daughters. But what can I help you? That should read, but what can I do to help you? Verse 18, for he that brought these plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies. So this was a temporary thing. Temporary for how long? We don't know, but it's temporary for the duration of whatever that divine timing period is. The Most High knew when he sent away the captives of Judah and Jerusalem, how long he intended for them to be gone. I'm here to tell you, they have not yet returned in mass. It's going to be proven here, right here. Verse 19, go your way, O my children, go your way, for I am left desolate. This is the feminine energy of the land speaking. Verse 20, I have put off, here's the kicker, I have put off the clothing of peace and put upon me the sackcloth of my prayer. I will cry unto the everlasting in my days. Okay. And then verse 21, I'll stop there. Be of good cheer, O my children, cry unto the Lord, and he will deliver you from the power and hand of the enemies. Now, there is another verse, and I believe it is in Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. Let me go there really quick. This, because that's going to prove this. They said this stuff doesn't belong in there. This is proven by Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. But the kicker there is the 20th verse. She said, I have put off the clothing of peace. So she's basically saying, there's not going to be any peace here until my children return. There's been no peace for how many thousands of years? How long ago was it that the children of Judah were carried off? 70 AD. That was 1,953 years. 1,953 years. Did I say that right? 70 AD to 1970 is 1,900 years. To 2020 is another 50. And then, 1,953 years. Now watch this. I'm going to show you this one, and then I'm going to get ready to get up out of here. Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. Okay. Okay, I got it highlighted. Present, share screen. All right. Here we go. This is Jeremiah 31, beginning at the 15th verse. Thus saith the Lord, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping. Rachel, let's turn that into Hebrew. Rachel in Hebrew is Raquel, which is really Ruach El, the spirit of God. Ruach is spirit or breath, and then El is God. Okay, so breath, spirit of God, weeping for her children. Okay, that's the land, and refused to be comforted for her children because they were not. Verse 16, thus saith the Lord, refrain thy voice from weeping and thine eyes from tears, for thy work shall be rewarded, saith the Lord. And they shall come again from the land of the enemy, And there is hope in thine end, saith the Lord, that thy children shall come again to their own border. All right. So, no peace in that land until the children of Israel return. The North Node is in Aries. We're in Scorpio season. I didn't want to say this early, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. I saw a report today that said that a refugee camp inside of Gaza was bombed and hundreds of people were killed at a refugee camp. Like, they ain't got no house no more. They stay in the refugee camps. The refugee camp was bombed because, well, allegedly there were some leaders of the resistance or the enemy in that refugee camp. Really? Would they be hiding in a refugee camp? I'm not. And y'all, I said this on my on my Instagram channel. I'm not taking sides. I'm only on the side of truth and righteousness. I'm not on either side there. Okay. The truth of the matter is, the scripture tells us that the land put off the clothing of peace. The land said I'm not gonna give my peace to anyone. I got some verses I'm gonna hit y'all with tomorrow where the land is talking about some other stuff. All right. I said this in another video. Land is feminine. If the land don't want it, but you want it, making the land produce fruit. What happens when a masculine energy is forcing a feminine energy to do something against her will? What is that? I don't need to spell it out for y'all. The land has been crying out for a long time. But what did the scripture say? The scripture said, put away your weeping. Your children that I sent away, I'm going to bring them back. I'm going to bring them back. This is energetic, y'all. This is energetic. I broke it down. If you did not get a chance to look at that live video I did where I was talking about the, let me see if I can bring that up for y'all really quick, where I was talking about the, let's go here. I was talking about the Lord of the Rings. YouTube, Matt D. Telford. Oops, that's not right. Okay, I don't know my own YouTube. Been a long day, family. Long day. All right, let's add Matt D. Telford. Come on, Matt. You know better. Jeez. All right. I don't know why it wasn't coming up. Present. Share screen. Window. All right. Share. All right. Let's go to live. All right. Why the Middle East has... Check these two videos out right here. Why the Middle East has been the most fought over territory since the... let me mute this. Since the beginning of time. Check that one out. And check out, no, that's not it. Where is it? Maybe that was that a regular video? I thought it was a live. Lord of the Rings. Huh. Yeah, there we go. Lord of the Rings. How does the Lord of the Rings films give clues about the Middle East, ancient Middle East, past, present, and future? Those are two videos you need to watch if you guys were not, if you haven't seen them and you weren't on that live. Those are two videos you're gonna want to watch, because I break down why there's been so much fighting there. But that's about all I got, family. I just wanted to show y'all the importance of the nodes of destiny, aka the North Node, and how it affects that land in particular. It affects everything. It affects everybody. I gave you guys the example of my current dealings with this particular family member who has a moon in Aries, and how I have had to make that adjustment in order to maintain peace. Remember, Libra energy balances out Aries energy. So I had to have the wisdom to say, this person is going to be emotionally charged because their moon sign is in Aries. So this person is going to be emotionally charged for the duration of this North Node being in Aries. I told y'all in another video, it is important to understand these astrological movements and placements because they are nothing more than cosmic weather. In the same token that nobody is going to go on a long road trip cross country during the middle of the winter and not plan for what the weather might be in this particular area when they get on the road, you should do the same thing with the cosmos. What is the energy of the cosmos, and how is that going to affect me with my particular energies? Why? Because we bear the same energies in us that the cosmos has. I don't care what you believe in. I'm tired of having this argument with people. People want to tell me, people want to come hit me with the Christianity and the churchianity and tell me that stuff's of the devil. And I'm like, I don't care what you think or what you say. When you were born, each one of those energies was in a position relative to the time, date, and place where you were born. So those energies help to, you are those energies. You are those energies based on what time, date, and location you were born, whether you like it or not. And those energies affect you. If you were born under a full moon, you are going to feel a little bit more emotion than you're going to be under any other time during the month. If you were born under a new moon, you are going to be a little bit more emotional during the new moon. When you understand that, when you understand yourself, then you know how to work with these energies. This energy of war is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It is going to be the North Node is going to be in Aries until January of 2025. So you might as well get used to what is going on in the world. But I'm here to tell you, and I'm gonna give this prediction. I'll probably give it again on tomorrow when I go a little bit deeper. I personally think that when the node shifts in 2025 out of Aries and into Pisces, you have to look at the opposite energy of Pisces. What's the opposite energy of Pisces? Virgo. Virgo is the energy of selfless service. I want to help everybody improve. Okay. Virgo is also the energy of communication. So, with that being in the South Node and Pisces being in the North Node, I think we see the activation of that prophetic passage of scripture from Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, the 8th verse. Let me pull it up real quick, and then I'll end this. I want to end it, but sometimes you get led to go in a different direction. So let's do this. Jeremiah 30 and 8. Okay. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck and will burst thy bonds, and strangers will serve themselves, shall no more serve themselves of him. Strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. He's talking about a specific group of people who have been servant to people who were not them for a very long time. When you look at the node shifting out of war, which is Aries, into Pisces, which is the opposite of Virgo, which is the energy of selfless service, I think we start seeing this when that node shifts to Pisces in 2025. This is prophecy season, y'all. We're at the end. We're at the end, whether you like it or not. But that is not anything to be afraid of, because the end of one thing is the beginning of something else. So if this is the end of a bunch of strife and a bunch of nonsense, then that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Who are these people that have been servant to people who are not them? A stranger is somebody who ain't you, who you don't know. Okay. Who are these people who are strangers, or the offspring of people who were strangers to people they didn't know? Okay. Who are the offspring? I mean, everybody kind of knows everybody now, but still, you can look at it in modern terms as a stranger being somebody who's not you. Somebody who's not you, somebody who's not your kinfolk, somebody who's not your people. Anybody who's taking advantage of you and using you, and you getting very little in return, if anything. That's summed up right there in Jeremiah 30 and 8. That has not happened yet. There's a lot of prophecy that has happened. There's a little bit left that needs to happen. This is one that has not happened yet. When I look at this scripture that says, strangers shall no more serve themselves of him, and I look at Virgo energy being selfless service, everybody I know who's a Virgo, sun, moon, or rising, or even Mars, they will help. Everybody knows Virgo energy. Virgo is here to help you improve your life in some way, shape, or form. Virgo sun, Virgo moon, Virgo rising, Virgo Mars. If it's a Venus in Virgo, that person is going to love you selflessly to help you improve. You know, Venus in Virgo is considered a debilitated position. Why? Because they give so much of themselves in a relationship to help somebody, and they don't expect anything in return. And a lot of times that gets abused. I feel for my people that I know that have Venus in Virgo. It's a tough position. It's a tough position. It's selfless service. That is Virgo. So when you're talking about prophecy, we are all up in prophecy season. And that land is going to be at rest again. But the only way that land is at rest is when her children are returned. Now, y'all can make what you will of that. Y'all can do the math. There has not been any peace in that land, even since the declaration of the statehood. I'm going to talk about all of that in this live tomorrow. I'm tempted to keep going, but I'm not. I want to give y'all something to come back to. So I'm going to wrap this up, family. If you got any questions, leave them in. I don't see anything in the chat. So if you guys got any questions, leave them in the comments section below the video. And listen, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I love you guys so much. I'll always tell you guys that because I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for helping me, guys, with your energy, just showing up and watching these live streams and watching my videos and commenting. They actually help me a lot. You guys have no idea. You have no idea. So thank you all for being here. If you are new to my channel and this is your first time watching me, whatever, I kind of said the same thing twice, didn't I? And that was redundant. If you're new to this channel and you like being informed, educated, uplifted, motivated, entertained, I do a little bit of it all. Hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up on your way out. Thank you, guys. Listen, I'll end this like I end all my videos. Tell somebody you love them and mean it. How do you mean it? Thank you, Hot Shot. I love you so much. Thank you so much. Tell somebody you love, and it'll be around the same time, guys. In fact, I'm going to do a poll tomorrow because I know I usually give you guys a range. I say between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. And I do that just because for contingencies, I'll give like a window there because I don't know what's going to come up. Sometimes things come up. Sometimes I have technical difficulties with the setup or whatever, or the network or whatever. Just it's always something it seems to be. So I usually give a 30-minute window, but maybe I'll throw a poll up on the site tomorrow and ask you guys if you preferred me to start like between 7:30 and 7:45. 7:45 and 8 or after 8 or something like that. I'll throw some up there to hear from you guys just to make it easier. But you and your feelings. Thank you. Good info. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Y'all pay attention. Pay attention. And listen, if you don't know your own placements, y'all go look up a birth chart calculator. There's one at Cafe Astrology. It's called Cafe Astrology Natal. Let me pop that in there real quick. Let me see. I'll just put this in the chat for you guys. And then, oh man, where's my thing at? Okay, there we go. That's one that I use. That's a good basic one. There's another one at AstroSeek. You can go to astro-seek.com. Let me just do it. Let me do this the right way and not take shortcuts. All right, let's see. Birth chart calculator. All right. So there's another one. And I really like AstroSeek. It's a little bit more advanced than Cafe Astrology. Cafe Astrology is a great beginner one. AstroSeek is a little bit more advanced. You can look up, you can do some pretty cool stuff with it. You can look up personal stuff. You can look up relationship stuff. You can look up different asteroids and their meanings and what does it mean when this asteroid was in this. It's really in depth. So you guys can use that one. Use one of those two, guys. If you don't know your natal placements, it is so important for you all to know it. So y'all check that stuff out. Sharon, Yasharel, shalom, love, prosperity, and happiness to all. Praises. Thank you so much for watching, Sharon. You're one of my biggest supporters. I love your energy so much. Thank you for always being here. AstroSeek, they're the best in my opinion. Yes, they're very good. You and your feelings. I like to give people Cafe Astrology because it's a great beginner one. If you've never looked at a birth chart, it gives you some good description stuff that you can break down. Once you get used to it, then you can kind of go and get over into stuff like AstroSeek and Astro.com. And AstroSeek I like because if you want to get a little bit more into, I tell people all the time, listen, if you know natal chart astrology and you can look up the natal chart of somebody else, if you're looking for a relationship, you can save yourself a lot of headache by checking compatibility between you and the person that you think you might be interested in, because you'll find out that you're probably not. And I probably shouldn't say this on a public platform, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Who cares? I had the biggest crush on Tyra Banks when I was in the Army. And one day, in fact, this was probably about a month ago, I said, you know what, let me see what me and Tyra's compatibility would have been. And as fine as Tyra is, I thank God I didn't. We would not have been a good mix. We would not. Me and Halle Berry wouldn't have been a good mix either. So, you know, y'all can't always get caught up in looks and material possessions, man. Y'all better start checking the compatibility of these energies, and you can save yourself a lot of headaches. So, you and your feeling says AstroSeek is more detailed. They have everything. They do. But there's one that's even more detailed than AstroSeek, and that's Astro.com. Now that's heavy. That's heavy duty right there, because you can look up. You can go way more detailed than even AstroSeek. So the thing is, find one that works for you. Find one that works for you. I still use Cafe Astrology. I still use it. You know, I still use it for a basic one. If somebody says, hey, can you help me out? I'll just run a quick one on Astro.com. I'm sorry, on cafeastrology.com, because I've memorized these placements and I know what they mean. I don't even need to look at the descriptions anymore. I can just read what houses the energy's in, and what planets they're in, to kind of know what's going on with that person, how they made, how they build, how they move, that sort of thing. So they're basic. You and your feelings, they're basic compared to AstroSeek, but they're good. They're good. A 4-cylinder Honda Civic will still get you there. It may not run like a Maserati, but it'll still get you to the store and back. All right. So that's the way I kind of like to look at it. But anyway, yeah. So listen, learn your natal chart placements, guys. I know I beat this drum a lot, but it is important to know yourself. When you know yourself, it helps you to adjust to other people. Because if you got people that you're compatible with, that you have a great time with, it'll show you why you do a great job, why you guys are so easy together, why your energy is so easy. If you got people you're not so compatible with, but you have to be around them, at least you know where you need to do that song and dance and that little give and take and that adjustment. Okay, how can I adjust to this person? Somebody's always got to be the bigger person. Why not you? Why not you? Your reward is tied into that, believe it or not. When you have the knowledge and the ability to do better and you choose not to, what does the scripture say? I think it says something to Sharon. You can help me out on this one. I think that scripture says, he that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him is sin. And I know that sin means error or failure. When you know to do good and you choose not to do it, you're going to fail. All right. So if you know to do good, if you be the bigger person, if you can, just go ahead and be the bigger person. That doesn't mean that you have to let somebody walk over you. But at the same time, if you have to be in somebody's space, be the bigger person and make that adjustment. It's just going to make your life easier. Why beat your chest and be like, oh, getting into a pissing contest, oh, I can pee further than you. So what? Pee still stinks if it hits your clothes, all right? Probably not the best analogy, but anyway. All right, family. I love you guys so much. Listen, tell somebody you love them and mean it. How do you mean it? You have to show it. Love is a verb. It is a noun as well. But when we focus on the verb, the noun always takes care of itself. Thank y'all for being here tonight. Love y'all, family. Peace.